Naras Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki, Shirupa Shri Sanatana Bhata Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhata Das Raghunath Shat Goswami Prabhu ki, Shri Sukdara Rai Ramananda Shri Gaura Parashad Vrinda ki, Namacharya Shri Das Thakur ki, Prem Sikhosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Navadvip Maya Purdama ki, Radhevi ki, Shri Harinama Sankirtan ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shankunda Radha Kundi ki, Govardhana ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Devi ki, Shrimati Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki, Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki, Gopishwara Mahadev ki, Braj Dham ki, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Julan Yatra ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra Chaitradam Toto Gopinath ki, Narasingha Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Pravara Prahlad Maharaj ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki, Samagata Bhakta Vinda ki, Shimita Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pridayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sachavachai Namo Namah. Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshai Kriptascha Kamadi Taranga Madhye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. I am offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Diksha and Siksha Gurudevs. Nitya Lila Pravishto Vishnupad, Paramahansa Astatara Sata Sri Srila,
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Nityalila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa, Asto Tarasata Sri Srila, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nityalila Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Asto Tarasata Sri Srila, Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I am offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who is the fulfiller of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's inner heart's desire. And my Dandavat pranams to all of the Vaishnavas and all of the Vaishnavis. I don't know if there's something astrological about today, but very strange. There was you made a mistake, and then in my room today, twice, when I was taking prasadam on the table, I knocked off this thing and went all over the floor, and I had to clean the carpet. It took a half an hour, you know. And just now, as I'm coming to the class, my arm also did the same thing with a pot that I had heated up. Luckily, dear Krishna Prabhu was helping to clean it, and you made the mistake, which is uncharacteristic, you know. So, at any rate, the material nature has its...
I think the smoke in the air might be affecting that.
Oh, is that what it is? Is there a fire nearby?
East of Porterville, yeah. In the
Oh,
Sequoia
sure.
National Park.
Oh,
But it's not close to us.
yeah, it's
But
way
the
down.
wind is bringing all this.
I see, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, the season. So anyway, as I was thinking today about my presentation that I was going to make on the Zoom call, which I did, but that also was very strange and difficult because I was expecting a couple of human persons to be there. And there wasn't. I mean, there was, but he wasn't paying any attention. So it was a difficult presentation because it was distracting. And on my screen on the Zoom call was one of the directors of the Zoom thing, and he was busy looking down. So I'm sitting in front of the screen of a person that's just looking here and there and doing things. And it was very difficult for me to focus. Anyway, I was supposed to speak on the topic, which I did in brief, on the topic of the glorification of the prominent Rupanuga Vaishnavas, their glorification of Srila Rupa Goswami. That was the topic. And I had many markers in my mind. For example, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Vaibe Akuti by Narottam Das Thakur. I was also going to go over a couple of the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, which were listed in the songbook of glorification of Rupa Goswami. Also, Madhukar Prabhu put that out on the Gmail. And of course, the song of all songs, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. But there was such a list of things that were in my mind and how to approach it, you know.
In 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like, you know, I had at least about 5 or 7 different things that I highlighted. That I wasn't planning to actually go over each and every one of them, because they, just like Narottam Das Thakur, just his songs alone, right? What to speak of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad, who at the end of every single chapter, he recites the verse, Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jar Ash, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das. He's telling there that all of my hopes, all of my asha means hope, are in the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. And in this way, with that mood, I'm writing this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kohe Krishna Das Kaviraj. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, some of his songs. And I was also considering how in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's final days, I wanted to find that. I didn't actually get that far to look it up. Not difficult to find. It's on Google very easily. His final instructions, which especially Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj had written them. Even he wrote them in Bengali verse form. He composed that. And in those instructions, he's mentioning again and again how we have to continue this line of Rupa and Raghunath Goswamis. We have to preach this line. So this is our line. Our line is Rupa or Raghunath. You see. So, but this morning I was remembering a glorification that I had read of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj on the first verse of Vilapa Kusumanjali. And Vilapa Kusumanjali is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's final and ultimate entreaty on the banks of Radhakunda to Srimati Radhika. And I knew that Srila Gurudev had spoken on this. It's never been officially published, but he spoke on this. So I just typed it in, and there's quite a few different things that came up. Vilap Kushamanjali English PDF like that. And one of them is from purebhakti.com. And so I started reading that this morning. And actually these lectures, they're given in Mathura to a small group of devotees, especially some of these leaders of ISKCON from 1990 to 1992. So I'm going to read that tonight. It's so charming the way Srila Gurudev is explaining the first verse, because the first verse, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but in the first verse, Raghunath Das Goswami, in his mood of being Rati Manjari, is making a kind of joke with Rupa Manjari in internal mood, you see. And I remember hearing Srila Sridhar Maharaj on audios that I've heard before, where he's telling about this. He's explaining that verse. How Rati Manjari says in a joking way to Rupa Manjari that, oh, you are very famous in Braj as being the topmost chaste young lady. And your husband has been away for at least a few days. Gurudev says that he was going to purchase a cow, a very special cow, but he couldn't find it yet. So he's been away, right? But yet I'm noticing that you have a mark on your lip, like a cut. And then he's joking. Could this be that your bimba fruit-like red lips have been mistaken by a parrot as being bimba fruit, and it could not resist and came and very gently tried to bite this bimba fruit? So in a hidden way, which is the way that in Braj everything is very hidden, everything they express. So actually it means that, oh, the best of parrots. Who's the best of parrots? Krishna, right? That he has come and made this mark. But this is the ultimate glorification, Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, of a disciple to a guru. And the Gurudev explains that in Braj, there is no relationship like that, like we have in this world of guru and disciple like that. Although there is a hierarchical mood of being under, but there is no address of, oh, Gurudev, and like this. But this is showing, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is explaining, this is actually showing the ultimate development of the relationship, even within this world, of two perfected personalities, Guru and disciple, like in the case of Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. So this is so beautiful. I started reading it this morning, so I thought, okay, I'll read this. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
So, this is titled Tridandi Swami Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, The Goal, Vilapa Kusumanjali, text 1. Now in parentheses it's describing this lecture. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiyo Ki Jai. As Srila Gurudev, of course this is written I think by Shamrani Didi many years ago. As Srila Gurudev, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj is famous for his traveling throughout the world and preaching the message of Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, so he is also famous for his unique ability to present the confidential, topmost goal of life as well as the means to attain it. In Vrindavan and Mathura from 1990 to 1992, Srila Gurudev was giving small classes on Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Sri Vilap Kusumanjali, Das Goswami's heartfelt prayers for entering the excellent highest service attainable by the soul. Because the Harikatha team is working on publishing these lectures, hopefully by Kartik of 2012, we are sharing with our readers Srila Gurudev's classes on the first 3 verses. Below is verse 1, and in the next mailings you will receive verse 2 and 3. So verse 1, this is the Sanskrit. Tvam rupa manjari saki pratite pure smin pumsat parasya vadanam nahi pashyasiti bimbadare kshatam anagata bhartrikaya yatte vyadai kimutach chuka pangavena. Translation. My dear friend, Rupa Manjari, you are well known in Braj for your chastity. You don't even look at the faces of other men. It is therefore surprising that although your husband is not at home, your lips, which are as beautiful as red bimba fruits, have been bitten. Has this perhaps been done by the best of parents? Commentary. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is first praying to his Gurudev, not to Srila Yadunandanacharya, nor to Srila Sanatan Goswami, or Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. They are all his gurus. And Swarup Damodar is one of the best gurus. Still, Raghunath Das Goswami first offered his prayers to Srila Rupa Goswami, to whom he has dedicated his life, and from whom he has received so much confidential guidance. Before writing Sri Vilapa Kusumanjali, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was thinking, I should write a Mangala Charanam, an auspicious invocation. And as soon as he picked up his pen, he at once entered Ardha Bahya Dasha. You know what that means? That means half internal and half external consciousness. As soon as he picked up his pen, he entered into this. And then, from that, he entered into Antaradasha, internal consciousness. In that inner state, in his form as Shri Rati Manjari, he saw the smiling face of Sri Rupa Manjari and noticed some unnatural marks, bite marks, on her lips. Rati Manjari also began to smile. Could you turn this fan off? Rati Manjari considers herself to be a new Saki. Rati Manjari considers herself to be a new Saki. And Rupa Manjari, she considers to be her Siksha Guru. Actually, there is no word Siksha Guru in that realm, but there is a transcendental conception of Siksha Guru there. It can also be said that Sri Lalita Devi and Sri Vishaka Devi are the Siksha Gurus of all of the Sakis. Because I am speaking in this mundane world, I am using the words of this world. I cannot explain these topics in transcendental language, so my words may sound mundane. Intending to pray to Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami entered deep into Antardasha, internal trance, where he saw Rupa Manjari with some cuts on her lips. And in a joking manner, he said, as Rati Manjari, "You are famous in Braj as a chaste lady. However, although your husband has been gone 4 or 5 days and has not yet returned, I see that you have fresh cuts on your lips from a few hours ago, or maybe from last night. And I think that perhaps a small parrot has come and mistaken them for a bimba fruit." Rupa Manjari then glanced toward Rati Manjari, and being very pleased with her, smiled still further. Therefore, in the 3rd verse, it will be stated, "Tvam eva Rati Manjari prachura punya punjo daya." This means, "O Rati Manjari, you are the most fortunate gopi in Vraj." So this is the 3rd verse that's coming. In that 3rd verse, Sri Rupa Manjari has given a blessing. Although the 3rd verse is in Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Vilapa Kushumanjali, these are not the words of Rati Manjari or Raghunath Das Goswami, but rather these are the blessings of Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari has blessed Raghunath Das Goswami. Quote, "You can write, and whatever you write, it will be the best composition." So in this world, we have a guru and we are his disciples. But in Raganuga Bhakti, internally, the guru is like a friend. Vishrambena Guru Seva. In the spiritual realm, there is no formal relation of guru and disciple as there is in this world. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he used to address Srila Rupa Goswami as guru, and he respected him as such. Inwardly, however, he saw him as a Saki, as Rupa Manjari, as he will further reveal in the 3rd verse. So throughout Vilapa Kushamanjali, he prays to Srimati Radhika, quote, "All my prayers for service are like flowers." That's what Kushamanjali means. "I am creating a garland of these flowers, and I am making them fragrant with the tears of my eyes. I am offering them to you." He is telling this to Srimati Radhika, not to Krishna. All the verses of Vilapa Kushamanjali are in connection with both Radha and Krishna, yet he especially directs his heart to Radha. Rupa Manjari is very near and dear to Srimati Radhika, and therefore, to achieve her mercy, he is praying herein to Rupa Manjari. Note that it is not he who is saying this, but she. Rati Manjari is telling Rupa Manjari, "Oh, Rupa Manjari Saki, I have heard that you are famous in Braj for your chastity to your husband. No one is equal to you. At the same time, I see something that I cannot understand, and I have a doubt. Your husband has gone to buy cows, and more than 4 or 5 days have passed. And because he is searching for a very special kind of cow, he has not yet returned. But still, I see a mark on your lips which are as red as a very soft bimba fruit. That blackish parrot, who is always flitting and flying here and there, he may have taken your lips to be a delicious bimba fruit. I think he wanted to taste that bimba fruit, and that must be why your lip is cut." So before Raghunath Das Goswami wrote this first verse, when he had been in Antardasha in the mood of Rati Manjari had gone to see Rupa Manjari, who at that time was full of joy. Perhaps they had met shortly after the Ras Leela. The inner meaning of Rati Manjari's statement is as follows. I see today that Krishna has met with you, and therefore your lips are cut. Can you describe what happened? At once Rupa Manjari took Rati Manjari in her arms and began to weep. She was not able to answer directly, but with her eyes and mood she said, "Yes, Krishna has done this." It may be said that Rati Manjari is offering pranam, obeisances, by this utterance, by the word pranam. But the word pranam is not in the verse. Her mood and prayer is so much greater than a pranam. And hearing her poetic words, Rupa Manjari at once became so glad. So in the next verse, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami prays. That would be the second verse. Stala kamalini yuktam garvita kananesmin pranayasi varahasyam pushpagutcha chalena api nikila latasta saura bhakta samunchan mrigayati tava margam Krishna bringo yad adya. O Stala Kamalini. Kamalini means lotus. And Stala Kamalini means land lotus. The Kamala blooms in sunlight, and the Kamalini blooms at night by Chandra Prakash, the light of the moon. The word Chandra in this connection refers to, guess who? Krishna Chandra. You are laughing. Why are you laughing? Is there anything behind this? I think that in this moonlit Vrindavan forest, you have fully blossomed. Softness, fragrance, and honey are all abounding in you. You laugh because you are quite proud. Ladies are greatly proud when their husbands are obedient to them and try to please them at any cost. You are proud because you understand that all other gopis are nothing in comparison to you. Who is he talking to in this verse? Gurudev is paraphrasing this verse. Srimati Radhika. Stala Kamalini. Land lotus. You laugh as if you are Pushpa Gucha Chalena, that you are several lotuses in one cluster. Here the word Gucha, cluster of flowers, implies that Srimati Radhika is resplendent with laughter, with glances, and so on. And because Rupa Manjari vicariously experiences what Radhika experiences, she also manifests these symptoms. Rati Manjari continues, quote, "The bee loves flowers. In this Vrindavan there are so many flowers, each more beautiful than the other. You are the most fragrant, however. Therefore, not flying here and there, that bee, that black Krishna bee, has left all other lotus flower-like gopis and come only to you. You have bound him by your fragrance, your beauty, your sweetness, and all your other qualities. Will you have mercy upon me, so that I can realize and taste all that you taste? Please give me a little of your mercy." Question comes from the group to Srila Gurudev. You once said that when Krishna approaches Rupa Manjari, then she says, "Radhe, Radhe," and runs away. You have said that she has no desire to meet personally with Krishna. Her only interest is to be with and to serve Srimati Radhika. Then Srila Gurudev answers, this is implied in the verse. Sri Rupa Manjari is a sevika, a maid servant of Srimati Radhika. When Srimati Radhika sends a Saki like her to Sri Krishna as a messenger, then Krishna may propose to her in all kinds of ways, but she always refuses his advances. Srimati Radhika has full faith in these Sakis because they act in such a way that she has no chance to doubt them. This type of kamatmik prem, or also known as kamarupa ragatmik prem. We have to understand this term, kamatmik prem or kamarupa ragatmik prem. This type of prem is not sambhog ichamai. That means sambhog means enjoyment. So this type of kamatmik prem is not sambhog ichamai, entailing direct enjoyment with Krishna. Rather, it is tat-tat bhava ichamai. Tat-tat bhava ichamai. That means enjoying via the enjoyment of Srimati Radhika. And it has a speciality. If the Manjaris do not have Kam, then they cannot be Kamanuga. They have Kam, but it is in the Anugatya, under the guidance of Radhika. It is not independent of her. By Radhika's wish, Krishna sometimes approaches the Manjaris. For without this, they cannot be considered in the category of Kam Anuga. Okay? They have to have that mood towards Krishna. But they reject his advances. The Manjaris are like the small flowers of a creeper. If one pours water on the root of a creeper, all the flowers and all the leaves will be nourished. Similarly, when Radha and Krishna meet, whatever Radha is experiencing by her mouth, by her face and body, it is experienced by them. Whatever she experiences by tasting Krishna, they also experience. Have you heard this verse? He's now quoting text 72 from the Vilap Kushamanjali. Shri Rupa Manjari Kararchita Pada Padma Gostendra Nandana Bujarpita Mastakaya Hamodata Kanaka Gauri Padara Vinda Samvahanani Sanakais Tavakim Karishye. O golden complexioned girl, when you are laying with your head in Krishna's lap, and your feet are in the lap of Rupa Manjari, and she is massaging your feet, will Rupa Manjari with the corners of her eyes, offer me her Mahaprasadam seva of gently massaging your feet while she fans you? So not only this verse, but all the verses of Shri Vilapa Kushumanjali, they confirm the idea that the only desire of the Manjaris is to serve Srimati Radhika in her service to Sri Krishna. All Rupanuga, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they remember these verses and they utter them daily. This service is our final goal. If you somehow have greed for this service, after hundreds of thousands of births, you will be so fortunate. The qualification for this will come by the grace of a gopi who is manifest in this world as a Raganuga Vaishnava. Again, the qualification for this will come by the grace of a gopi who is manifest in this world as a Raganuga Vaishnava. And when you achieve his grace, it will be very easy to remember all these prayers and pastimes. In your present stage, it is not easy to remember, but at that time, remembrance will come easily and automatically without any endeavor. Question. You have said previously that by Srimati Radhika's arrangement or indication, Lord Krishna meets with some other gopis or manjaris. At the time of Ras Leela, Krishna dances with all of the gopis. So is that also Radhika's desire or her arrangement? And Gurudev answers, this is an example of Nara Leela. You know Nara Leela? Human-like. So her desire was there, but it was not shown outwardly. Inwardly, she wanted it, but if she had revealed her inner desire, she would not have left the Ras arena, and the other gopis would not have come to understand her superiority, and there would not have been rasa. So this is in answer to this question, that by Radhika's arrangement or by her indication, then Lord Krishna meets with some other gopis or manjaris. So at the time of Ras Leela, Krishna dances with all of the gopis. So is that also Radhika's desire or arrangement? And Gurudev is saying yes. This is an example of Nara Leela. Her desire was there. To do what? To engage all the gopis in the Ras Leela. But it was not shown by her outwardly. Inwardly, she wanted it, but if she had revealed her inner desire, she would not have left the Ras arena. And we know that that's the ultimate proof that she is the topmost. Because when she left, Krishna left. Billions of gopis. And if she would not have left the Ras arena, then the other gopis would not have come to understand her superiority, and there would not have been Ras. So there are many types of Ras Leelas. Vasanta Ras was seen in trance by Srila Jayadev Goswami, and he has written about this in his Sri Gita Govinda. Once that Ras was going on at Chandra Sarovara near Govardhan for the period of Brahmaratri, Lord Brahma's entire night. But during that time, Chandra, the moon, stayed fixed in one place, watching everything. And that place is therefore called Chandra Sarovara. So during that Ras Leela, Srimati Radhika thought, oh, Krishna is sporting with all the gopis as well as with me. He is neglecting me. And seeing him with all the other gopis, she disappeared from the arena of the Ras and entered a kunja. The author of Gita Govinda has written, Smarati mano me krita parihasam, that when Srimati Radhika was greatly suffering in deep viraha ras, separation, continually weeping for Krishna, then a Saki, either Lalita, Vishaka, or Rupa Manjari, approached her. Radhika was weeping so bitterly that she was barely able to maintain her external consciousness. And when the Sakhi asked, "Why are you weeping?" then Srimati Radhika replied, "Smarati mano me krita parihasam." My heart remembers only the joking pastimes that Sri Krishna enjoyed with me. Parihasam means joking. So how does Krishna joke? He thinks, Srimati Radhika should become angry with me. And then when her anger is gone and she is pleased, I will have a greater chance to serve her. Then Srimati Radhika told her Sakhi that once when Sri Krishna was once sitting with her after Ras, he said to her, "O Priye, O darling beloved, O Chandra, I am so pleased with you." He had said Chandra, indicating Chandravali, knowing that she was Radhika, just to make her angry. And he continued, "O Priye, I am yours. I do not belong to anyone else. O Priye Chandra." And then hearing this, Srimati Radhika became furious and said, "Never speak to me again. I will have no connection with you. Go to Chandra at once and remain with her. Don't come to me at any time." And then Krishna then prayed to her, "Please excuse my offense. I have committed a great mistake. I promise that I will never do this again." He had done that only in jest, but still he admitted his fault and he prayed, "Please forgive me." And his hands were cupped like those of a beggar. His pitambara was hanging from his neck. And after sharing this with her Sakhi, Radhika was restless and she could no longer speak. She could only think of Krishna. And then another time, Krishna sent a gopi to Radhika, telling her, "Go and tell Radhika that I am praying to her. Tell her that I will never commit an offense again in my entire life and that she must forgive me." However, hearing Krishna's message and simply weeping, Srimati Radhika told the messenger, I will not do so." So when that gopi returned to Krishna and repeated Radhika's words, Krishna exclaimed that again another messenger, a Duti, should go to appease Radhika. And this time he himself became the messenger in the dress of a very beautiful gopi. He was decorated with 16 kinds of abharana decoration and 32 kinds of bobs, ecstatic ornamentations. And his many bobs made him look exquisite. And decorated with various colored unguents, he approached Radhika and bowed down before her. And at first Radhika could not recognize him. She simply saw a very beautiful gopi and asked her, "Who are you?" Sri Krishna replied, "Oh, Krishna has sent me to you. I am a dasi of Krishna, and he has sent me to beg you to forgive him. He has made a mistake. He admits that. So please do not be angry with him. He is certainly faultless. He is unable to commit any offense. He is very rasik, and he loves you more than any other gopi. So now he weeps continually, and upon hearing and seeing his weeping, all the creepers, trees, and other beings are also weeping. You alone are not affected." Then hearing this, Radhika's heart melted, and she said, "Sakhi, what shall I give you? I wanted him to admit his fault and to come to me, so I am very much pleased with you." Then she took that Sakhi in her arms, and when she did so, she at once understood, "Oh, this is Shyam Sundar." So, I have to stop now, but we'll read more of this tomorrow. Jai Srila Jayadev Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Vilapa Kushumanjali Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Jayadev Goswami? Jayadev Goswami?
What? Are you asking a question?